AI is everywhere, shaping how we learn, work, and connect. But do you really understand how it works? AI literacy isn't just for tech experts. It's for educators, students, and anyone curious about the future of learning. That's where CIDDL comes in. At CIDDL.org, you'll find free resources, discussions, and expert insights to help you navigate AI and education with confidence. Whether you're new to AI or ready to dive deeper, CIDDL empowers you with the knowledge to make AI work for you. Visit CIDDL.org today and start your journey with AI literacy.
Enhancing AI literacy starts by asking, what can AI do? And then we ask, what can I do that AI can't? It is important to provide pre-service teachers opportunities to explore how AI supports diverse learners, but also where it falls short. They should learn to prompt and evaluate the output with a critical eye, because knowing AI is knowing when to use it and when not to use it. The goal is to help pre-service teachers understand that AI is a partner, not a replacement. When they understand the capabilities of AI and their own, they're ready to guide students with insights, not just tools.
AI is everywhere. It's shaping how we live, learn, and work. Pretending it's not there or banning it entirely, that's not the best move, I think. The best way to protect ourselves from the risk of AI is to understand it truly. That's what AI literacy is all about. AI literacy means knowing what AI is, how it works, and what it can do and cannot do, and how to use it ethically, creatively, and responsibly. It's not just for tech experts. It's a set of skills for everyone students, educators, all of us.
Well, hello. Sean Smith here at the University of Kansas.
Hi, Samantha Goldman, also University of Kansas.
And we want to wish everyone
Happy AI Literacy Day.
Yeah, so there's so many different things that AI is offering for students, particularly those with disabilities and the teachers they serve.
Absolutely. So many resources, so much out there to support them and the work that they're doing. Something that we get asked a lot when we're talking about using AI, and especially with this concept of AI literacy, is how do you verify? Probably have taught the subject so you know what is and is not correct. We know that AI information comes from all over, and some of it is good and some of it isn't good. So while this is great and we love Diffit, and Sean's going to show you all the amazing things it does, we still need to remember to have that critical hat on and make sure that the information that it's providing is still accurate.
Hi, my name is Dr. Mary, and I am a lecturer at the University of Maine. And some of the ways that we use AI here in my classes are we actually use them to develop IEP goals. We use them to create transition plans, transition activities. We use all forms of AI in our research and in our note-taking, including using Otter AI as a form to take notes during our class lectures. And then in addition to that, we're using currently AI to explore ways in which we can accommodate and modify for students with disabilities in the classroom as much as we possibly can based on specific disability types, areas, and other ways as well. So overall, we try to use this to not only increase accessibility for our students, but find ways to increase accessibility for our future students that we see in our area.
Hello, I want to share one user case of generative AI that I used in my math methodology class. Teachers can follow co-create processes when using generative AI, for example, column math. This column math was the fine-tuned AI based on the lesson plan template in my class, so that pre-service teachers can follow communication generated by AI and respond, validate the response by hearing the responses. So for example, click it.
Great choice. Let's get started designing a lesson on fractions. What instructional tier will this lesson be for? Tier 1, Tier 2, or Tier 3?
Also, we can adjust the environment for the visual contrast function and also increasing the font size. In that way, within this digital environment, we consider this generative AI and co-developed the lesson component.
So for 2025, we thought we'd go teacher initiated. I imagine in 2026 we'll be talking about student initiated.
Who knows by then?
I know, right. So what we thought we'd share today is Diffit. And as we know as special educators, so much of what our challenges for our students with disabilities, and those they're struggling peers. There's a lot of students out there that struggle with a number of barriers. And one of the primary barriers is just particularly access to the content. And so we thought we'd share Diffit. And so here we go. So as you can see, Diffit basically allows for anything with AI to be repurposed. And so it says literally anything. It says books, articles, YouTube, we'll get to that in just a second, text or PDF. So any resource you have that you want to be repurposed for students and resources, you can have done. So let's go over here real quick. And I'm going to grab a YouTube video that I did not create, but it's off of the branches of the U.S. government. Of course, all our students are required to take U.S. government before they graduate across the country. And so we're simply going to go over here to YouTube and click on YouTube. And we'll simply click on that. And then what it allows for us to do is immediately customize the resources, which you'll see in just a moment, but from a grade level perspective. And you might be saying, well, they're seniors, Sean. Yeah, but reading level wise, they may be much more limited. I think the last stat I saw was the average high school graduate nationally is coming out with a 4th grade reading level. So let's go 4th grade. And you may be like, that's too low, Sean. Well, you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. So, and then we can go ahead and align to standards if we want to, but for the moment right now, we'll focus in on the fact that these resources are going to create are at a lower grade reading level, and we'll go ahead and click generate. And what's going to happen here is this video that I did not create, I just simply found, will be repurposed into a number of different resources. Anything you want to share, Sam?
Yeah, I think that while this is loading, something that we get asked a lot when we're talking about using AI, and especially with this concept of AI literacy, is how do you verify? And so this is coming from a YouTube video. So obviously first you would have watched the YouTube video, probably have taught the subject, so you know what is and is not correct. We know that AI information comes from all over, and some of it is good and some of it isn't good. So while this is great and we love Diffit, and Sean's going to show you all the amazing things it does, we still need to remember to have that critical hat on and make sure that the information that it's providing is still accurate.
So real quick, what it's done now is it's basically taking and created visuals. And you may be saying, well, these visuals were from the YouTube video. Well, yes and no. Some may have been, but others basically they've gone out to the web and said, okay, the content is 3 branches of government. How have other people visually represented it? So this in and of itself may be a visual. And by the way, I love this visual here. But it could be this visual here I select, or this visual here. So this could be something I immediately grab and then utilize with my students. But we're just beginning here. What it's done next is Kaylee, who was our narrator, is now broken down with a 4th grade reading level, the basically text that she shared. And this video was 8 to 10 minutes, but they've very quickly kind of done a summary. Now, of course, in any of these issues, I can edit it, I can copy it, I can show the resources, etc. I can customize it. All those different elements are there. We're going to continue though. I'll come back to this, but I love this part, and that is what are the 3 summary areas. Okay, so they summarized in 3 different areas, so there you go. We'll come back to that. Again, edit and copy. Here, it's identified the key vocabulary, and we know a lot of our content area instruction, beginning 4th, 5th grade up, relies a lot on key vocabulary. So they've identified the vocabulary, they've defined it, and then they've offered an example. And again, I can add vocabulary, I can add images to go along with vocabulary, I can edit, copy, etc. Increasingly, in addition, multiple choice. I can add questions, but here I have the questions, I have the answers I can find, etc. Short answer, open-ended. So the list goes on. But I feel like I'm a commercial here. Wait, there's more. And this is the part I really like. So I can go to the student activity, and here Diffit has organized it in several different areas. So for example, I want to summarize this. And if you think of it, I now have a lot of information that I want to summarize for struggling learners. I want to give them the big ideas, the critical elements, and there's a lot of information they need to plow through, but what's the essential? Or vocabulary. How can I study the vocabulary better to understand it? Or reading strategy for comprehension. Go ahead, Sam.
I like writing strategies.
Let's go to writing strategies. So I'm going to select writing strategies, and what they've done now is automatically they've applied writing strategies, general writing strategies, very specific writing strategies, to the content, which I'll get to in just a moment, the U.S. government content. And as you can see, we have more and more and more as we go along. Is there one you want to jump at, Sam?
Go to the CER at the top.
The CER. So here's the CER. So I'll select this and I'll export the activity. And now when I export it, what it's going to give me is several different choices. It's going to allow me to do it right in Google Classroom if we're Google Classroom users. It's going to allow me to a PDF, a PowerPoint, or it's going to allow me Google Slides. I like the Google Slides. I'm going to select those. And what I love about this initially is it gives me directions because I don't know what the CER is all about. I mean, you do, Sam, but you're a writing expert. And then notice here, it's grabbed in the image and it's bringing in elements of notice and wonder. In this instance, and this slide is reviewing vocabulary with definition and example sentences.
And it's doing it all for you.
This is all created on the fly based on this CER strategy, but sitting here, and of course, it's a Google slide, so I can highlight, I can edit all I want, or I can take a strategy that I'm unfamiliar with and employ it with my students that it will work, it should support, etc., that I don't need to be an expert on. And by the way, I don't necessarily need to pull that special educator in who oftentimes doesn't have enough time for me. Instead, I'm getting some support right from the get-go. And maybe I'm, of course, working with my special educator or working with my aide or whoever that can support me. So you can see it goes on and on and on in terms of the resources it's creating. And this is all via Diffit. And so the other element I want to go back to before I leave here, and I know we've gone over our time, is that back to the 3 points. And you'll see here, in terms of, I think we've done enough about AI literacy for 2025.
Definitely. Happy AI Literacy Day. Try Diffit, try some other of the great tools recommended, and let us know what you learn and what questions you have.
And I hope you're walking away with understanding that, wow, we just took content, we made it more available, we made it more consumable for the individuals that struggle and those with disabilities, and AI was the one that did the work for us with work and content that we've either pre-selected or maybe that we created to make it more available for all our learners. So thanks again.
Bye.
At CIDDL.org, we have tons of resources to help you make sense of AI, what it is, how it works, and how to use it responsibly. Visit the CIDDL website today and overcome the fear, embrace the future, learn AI the right way.